30 years or more ago, I published a book called The New Manufacturing Challenge, describing the waste elimination, how to reduce it, and continuously work on with people involved. And I lectured, not just book, but made videos and traveled around the world. People these days call lean, same idea, waste elimination. But I emphasized that waste elimination, one of the worst ways, is not to utilize the people's talent. But that experience, many years I have spent time with different companies, different situations, lived with me. And 30-some years later, it just pops up, although my activity is much less, but still involved with some companies to practice this idea. I was at the Costco. I love the company, and every time I go there, I get excited. Check how things are going, how the products are flowing, what product they have, how they present it, what price. In any case, the point of this discussion is waste elimination. But when you visit the company like Costco and see how the presentation is there, how the flow of materials, and how they work there, and how many people come and go in a very smooth flowing state. Flow state is mental issue that we can, psychological subject we can talk about, but lean is related to flow. Everything flows, there's no inventory. And one approach is that you don't look at the bits and pieces, but look at the whole picture and to find the bottleneck. Where the material doesn't flow well, or where something popping up and stop the line, how to expose the problem and put people's mind into it, solve it. And by having such a system with everyone involved, we develop a certain system. And Costco is not manufacturing, but the idea is applicable for distribution, or sales, or service organization. So that's what I've been involved, and also looking at the situation from a managerial point of view. And the way I learn is not just look from the top, but look up from the shop floor to see how things are happening. And across all different organizations, from the accounting or human resource, R&D, production, service, sales, marketing, whatever. And if you have such a wider view to see where the bottlenecks are and address it, the whole company benefit, and people feel great inside, and they connect to each other so closely. So that work I did for the last 40 years or so has been very much fun, sometimes very intense if you go through such workshop like I did with Toyota in 2-3 days and change the layout, the machine, everything, and make a presentation at the end. And I remember my friend, mentor, invited me and joining to those, Toyota Dishuken in Japan and Taiwan and other countries. We traveled. He passed away, unfortunately, but I still remember many, including Mr. Ono, who is known to be the father of Toyota Production System, or Mr. Cho, who became the CEO of Toyota and the chairman. I get to know them. And there's something so vibrant about the system. And one thing I may just say it for the sake of this video is that don't look at the situation, the system and the concept, but look from the people point of view and how they can be engaged in it. That's the essence. And that can be the ultimate that you have people fully utilized and be happy and contribute. Many memories. I don't need to go into it, but it just flashes back. And that's what happened when I visited Costco. Different industry, different company, different nation. And I have been in the US for 40 years or so. Fantastic. And I hope this concept is not taken as technique, but more philosophy, the way of work, or even way of how we live. Because I practice this idea of waste elimination in my work, in my life, from small detail, and sometimes I don't do well, even though I wrote books and there are cases that I misplace things and not practicing it. But there's always a way that we can improve. That's the whole idea. And if you are so used to it, you may look into your own way of living, how your mind functions. And that's the connection that I get into Zen. And the funny thing is that my involvement of the lean to the production system, all of them, and managerial work, mini company and others. But at the same time, I have been involved in Zen and Buddhism and spiritual pursuit. And you find the same ideas. If you find the awakening moment, it's the same thing. That we have a mind and heart, or within me, there are mini me, I call it. There's a partition of different parts of me talking different languages, so to speak, as much as the same happens in the organization. And when we have that, we have lots of inventories of knowledge and the words and all that, not organized well. And that's ridiculous. So the meditation and Zen is a way to make more intuitive sense of what's going on. Instead of logic and burdensome process of communication and miscommunication, make things visible, easy to understand. And when you accomplish that, the whole your body and mind get, I call it Waku Waku, energized. Energy flows smoothly instead of being blocked. And when that happens, you have the enlightenment, satori, awakening, flow state, zone. In a major way or minor way, idea, insight, wisdom, compassion, all of that may happen here and there. And know your Ten-Mei, order from heaven. What is the meaning of life and what you do. And be liberating in yourself, and while at the same time helping the society and the people you can relate to. Maybe I just give one little story, and this is a funny story, so I want to say. My friend Gary and I was fishing together, and we worked on the filter production system and all of that, but we also had fun together. So for some reason, I was talking about a Zen monk living under the bridge. Under the bridge was the title, the image. And the point is that the Zen monk is doing something to help people who are homeless, perhaps, but do something with them. And I forgot about it until recently. Gary contacted me, and I remember some of the discussion we had. This discussion about the Zen monk and under the bridge means a lot, and I want to say something about it. We have different capability, background, way to approach life, and often we compare with others what's better and how you can do better and all of that. But inwardly, I think we really need to understand how to have the clarity within itself, flow state, zone, openness. I call it transparency. That there's no things hanging around and be consumed. And I use the word Waku Waku. The energy is flowing, no blockage. So that can happen inwardly, regardless of the external situation, whether you are the top of the company or middle management or painter or architects, doesn't matter, or the homeless. So whatever the situation we fit in happen to be, given the background and the karma, some of the things, habitual patterns that develop and become so used to it. So that's your field, your mini universe to work on. In the case of the Zen under the bridge, I can imagine, is that he found as Ten-Mei, the order from heaven, to help those who are homeless, maybe bitching and complaining. I don't know what they do. They have their mini universe, mini society. But this guy was under the bridge with them. I think Ikkyu is one of the Osho who are like that. Ryokan in Japan is also something like that. And they are free to be in any situation, not concerned about their title or fame, how many books you published, or whatever, or the company, the money. Regardless of that, they are shining the world, the mini universe. I think that's what I said in my new manufacturing mutual flow management book. For those who shine the corners of the world. That's how I dedicated my book, Idea of the Mini Company. So the mini company president within the company, but also the Zen monk was also self-reliant mini company president on what he does, relating to his group of people working or sharing ideas, the homeless, maybe laughing and smiling and making the most of it. Not to say who is better or worse, but I believe living with this Ten-Mei idea, self-reliant, being with the people, given your skill and knowledge, background, and utilize the best of what you have without any blockage, and communicate, make that happen. So, Costco visit was fun. Waste Elimination memory that I have, and so much to remind myself. So I thought I'd say a few words on it as I pass away in the next few years, hopefully a little longer, but I thought I'll make a note of it. If there's anyone interested or want to make a comment, I'll be happy to listen to it. Because I start to do some more web-based communication network. And hopefully, maybe this is a little odd message, but there may be something very genuine. And with the bringing the sincere and truthful way to live our life, I hope we can share these ideas where possible. Thank you for listening.